Hello everybody, my name is Griff. I'm here going over the newest banner, which just came out today, featuring a brand new unit and our brand new dragon, Uriel, and our brand new unit, Humanoid Jupiter. I'm going over this banner today because there was a lot of information that was not part of the original release that I wanted to contemplate in a should you summon video, so that's why we're doing it today. Just a little bit of prefaces to this video. A couple days ago, they released a new Gala Life, which had Jupiter in a suit with glasses, and it literally said "Lawyer Jupiter" over it. And this was probably a callback to the original post in the This Month in Gala Lost, talking about a certain unit would take up a lawyer apprenticeship and become a lawyer in a new mid-month event, which we have right now, which is the Dazzling event, Dazzling Defense. Pretty standard event. It does have a cute humanoid Jupiter sticker, so that's always good. But I did want to touch more on this banner because there's a lot of news on this banner that's a bit more interesting and a bit more reserved than I was originally hoping. I was really hoping to summon on this banner. I was really hoping to look forward on this banner, but I'm gonna say right now, if you do not have Gala Prince, that would be the only reason to really summon on this banner. Both the Dragon and Humanoid Jupiter are not must-have summons going into the holiday season. We're going to have multiple limited characters throughout the month of December and January and the end of November. So, right away the answer for me is no, unless you need Gala Prince. But for the units, we're just going to quickly go over them. So, Humanoid Jupiter is a light plating rather. I love this art. Always the units that I want for character purposes have the best art. I find this, like, I wanted or Sharpshooter Cerise rather, and she had an amazing art. And look at this art. You have the lawyer side over here, you have the dragon side over here, and then you have the normal humanoid appearance right in the middle. And as he says, I am both beautiful and in dire need of great entertainment. And you can see that he has some different skills. He has this overcharged effect we'll get into in a second. He also has the strength co-ability, and the team strength amp equals curse rest plus 100% chain co-ability, which is pretty crazy. Then he has a bunch of other things. So we'll quickly go over this. To start off, you see Thunder Strike. Deals damage to enemies directly ahead, inflicts flash burn, and grants the user a strength amp. If this attack connects to an enemy that has the overcharge effect, it deals bonus damage based on the effect's level. If overcharge is at its maximum level, it will be removed after the damage bonus is dealt. So you can see here there are 4 levels of overcharge. He has flash burn, and he also gets a strength amp with a team amp level of 1. So essentially, there is no cooldown on this amp, so it's just using your skill 1, which will come up pretty quickly. But additionally, you can only get to level 1, so you're going to have some kind of other amper to push you up. In this case, a good example of that would be Gala Prince, who can just kind of cycle through amps, get that higher level, including even you could have Vixo as well on your team that could do that as well, just to get you to a higher level of amp. Then you have the Spark Ignition, and this is his second skill. Applies overcharge to the target. If the target is hit by an attack that would have avoided with the damage immunity provided by skills while using the skill, but before it applies overcharge, a skill will instead apply 4 levels of overcharge to the target and nearby enemies. So essentially, if you use this attack to iframe, or to basically not get hit at the very beginning of the move, kind of similar to Harl, as Harl will use a counter attack when he does his, you'll just get more levels of overcharge. And this is going to probably be ideal. You'll probably want to do this every time so that you can kind of use this combo of using your skill 2 to get the overcharge effect, and then use your skill 1 to get the maximum damage effect, and just cycle between the two of those. Additionally, it costs 10k SP, which means that you're going to have to get about 4 or 5 of your skill 1s before you even get one of these, so you are going to have to cycle between that a bit. Then he has the strength, as we already said, and then he has team strength amp equals curse was 100. If a team member is attuned to light, reduces their totality curse by 100% when they have a team strength amp. Benefits the whole team. This is super cool as a backline unit. This is probably the most, in terms of like a support aspect, probably the coolest part of his kit. The fact that he can have this. You can put this on the backline on a co-op clear. So if you want, you're trying to do a co-op thing and you don't want to put it fully into curse res for a certain fight, and you know that you'll have a lot of team strength amps, you could have this. This basically gives you, I believe the team strength amp is around 30 seconds. It's either 30 or a minute, so it would give you that for that time period, and then if you got another one within that time period, it would just recycle that effect. So that's super cool. It is team, not solo, so if you're just going through strength amps, it's not going to work. It has to be the team level, but if you can get it up quick enough, you will have that curse res. Then you have Lightworm's Nature, reduces ability to paralysis by 100%. When shapeshift for the first time, you'll shapeshift into Jupiter regardless of what dragon they have equipped. The second time onward, they will transfer into High Jupiter, same as Humanoid Mercury and Mim. And then when the user dodges an enemy attack, applies overcharge to the attacking enemy and grants user a strength amp with a maximum level of 1. After activating this effect, will not activate again for 10 seconds. So again, he can just dodge attacks to get the over damage and to get the amps, so he will be getting amps very quickly. Overcharges 4 levels and deals damage to affected enemies and nearby enemies when the effect is lost. This effect will be an area of increasing with its level and will be removed at level 4. It also inflicts paralysis and stun. As you can see here, they go down by 15 seconds each level. In gameplay, this is similar to the effect that he puts onto you in his boss fight, where you have the little circle around you that goes up, and then when you hit level 4, it bursts, kind of thing. In this case, this one goes up to level 4, and then he bursts it himself. Yeah, and you can just wait for it to go away, or you can just have it burst it yourself. One of the reasons I wanted to wait was because I wanted to see the modifiers on this and the modifiers in his normal dragon form, both of which are okay. They're not great, but again, they're not, really for this type of banner, when you're going into a super limited season into the next year, into a potential collab even in February, if you're trying to get, 600 summons by February and you're trying to save up for those units that we don't even know about yet, presuming that they're there. We presume there would be some type of collaboration at the end of November, as usually as there wasn't, so maybe we won't have that February collab, but it is pretty likely that we will. You really have to make these banners worth it, and this banner just doesn't seem worth it, strictly based on the fact that both of these characters are permanent, and both of these characters, or the character in Dragon rather, are just kind of mediocre. But again, he does have poison res, so he does actually have double resist if he has that team strength amp, and he specifically will be able to cycle between them very quickly. So again, he is a very good backline unit for collabing purposes, and he's also a good support unit, just in what he offers. And then his last ability is Arc Absorption. Fills the Dragon Gauge by 20% and restores user HP if they're in range of the attack dealt by overcharge effect when it's lost. So essentially, if you're in range, if you pop it yourself using the skill 1 or whatever, just as the time goes up, you get healed a little bit, and this goes up by level. I believe it's at max, it's at 90%, which is a lot. And you also get 20% of that Dragon Gauge. So he does have some perks to him. He does have some effects that are pretty cool to him. But again, based on the other competition and light, just based off the other things that you have, this may not be very beneficial to you. I already have I already have Gala, I already have Beautician's Arden. Really, I'm going to use Beautician's Arden, but I already have the other 2 ones that I would need. And additionally, one of the biggest hits against him is that he has a unique dragon form, meaning he cannot use Chronos Nyx to his full potential, meaning that he can't really be run that much in a DPS scenario compared to other units like, again, Gala Prince or Gala. Those type of units are really beneficial to having that dragon form that they have access to. So again, you kind of have to play around with that. Then additionally, as we go forward onto here, we have Gala Prince. I'm just going to keep this one short and brief. He has his skill Rising Circlet effect, which is just a buff zone. He has the Exalted Glory, gives you a bunch of buffs, comes up about every minute. He has his unique collab that helps with shapeshifting, and then he also has shapeshifting equals regen 4, or actually 6 rather. Then he has this effect that he gets his Draconic Charge, where he fills the user's Dragon Gauge when their HP drops to 30, and then he reduces Dragon Depletion and increases attack rate while shapeshifting as well. So this is a shapeshift unit, super good with Chronos Nyx, super good on the backline if you're planning on doing a lot with Chronos Nyx. Probably one of the best setups right now in the game for light is you have Gala with Chronos Nyx, and then you have a Gala Prince in the backline. So if you don't have Prince, you really should get him. He's probably one of the better Gala units right now, I'd say. And then you have Uriel, our first permanent dragon in Flame in almost a year. One of the farm angels fitting to Ferris, and as he does fit to Ferris, his effect is kind of very skewed towards him, and it's kind of bad comparative to the other things in the element. So for starters, just aura-wise, he has 60% strength from Flame, which is basic. That's what most strength dragons have. And then he has this other effect. Uriel Zeal has 3 progressive levels. For 60 seconds, increases the user's strength when they dodge an attack by 10% and chance of inflicting Scorching by 20, and then for 40 and then 20 it goes up to 30% strength and then chance of inflicting Scorching by 80. Again, just compared to most general content, the Title of Strength from the 5 Unbound Dragons that just got released a couple weeks ago will be better than this because you're going to be having set at 95% strength for the first 3 minutes of the fight. So already then you're having more strength than this effect at its best. Then you could say you're inflicting Scorch Rend, which is good for units that want to inflict Scorch Rend, but you also have to look at other things. These are just the permanent dragons we're talking about. In terms of limited dragons like Mars and Reborn Agni, there's no competition here between these. So, you know, if you're really in the need for flame dragons or you're really focused on Ferris, then there is something to be said here, but otherwise I don't really think he's worth it. He's pretty, like, he's just pretty. I like him. I like both of these units. It's just that right now with how the game is and the state of us going into a heavily limited period, both New Year's and Christmas, or Dragon Yule rather, coming up, as well as galas every month now, as well as whatever's going to come out with Lilith that's going to come out next week. That just got announced as well. That's coming out next week. If we go back to notices, we can see that getting the Legend difficulty of Lilith and Crossing Shadow coming up. They still didn't say what was part of this yet, so we're going to have to see. But yeah, it's just, I can't say in good faith to summon on this banner unless you really want these 2 units. But if you do summon on this banner, I'd love to see your polls. Tell me how you did. Tell me what you got. And yeah, and that's going to be it for me for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.